I've been a director about 3 years. I started off in fine art, so I've been a visual artist all this time, but it's only in the last 3 years that I've been working more in directing like narrative work and documentary work. Definitely. I think, to be honest, the way the film market is now is changed completely. You know, equipment is so accessible now. So what I think is that if you have a decent camera, it's just about having a great idea and going out and shooting it. So I think, of course, having education, it's always been known if you have a degree, you learn a great deal of philosophy and understanding behind an industry. But I think in the film industry, it's really hands-on. So it's probably better to actually start filmmaking as soon as you can. And that way is, for me, I found the best experience that I've had in generating my skills. To be a director, I think the kind of top tips that we need to kind of bear in mind is being able to tell a story and have a strong concept from the beginning, middle and end, and also be willing to work with different people who could help them to actually make a film, because I think a lot of people just assume that it's the director who makes everything. A film process has a lot of different types of crews, so it's just being willing to be adaptable, to work with different people. But the most strongest thing I think is to make sure they have a great idea. The main kind of roles that are involved in film are obviously the director, but there's also the producer, the DOP, who's the director of photography. You have wardrobe, makeup, the assistant directors, runners, and what you realize is that there are like several people behind the camera who are effectively making this all run. So anyone who wants to go into film, there's a lot of different roles to get into. There's even like the gaffer who deals with the electrics and camera assistant and such. So it's a big market. It really depends. I think most people, probably about 5-6 years ago, the ideal kind of route would have been you become a runner in a production company and then you climb your way up. I think it's changed so much now. Some people have found success doing that, but for me, I find it's better to be hands-on and actually make a film and go out there, get a strong idea, shoot it. And the internet now is the ultimate platform for film and video, so get your film seen. By doing that, you never know, you might get someone who says I like their work and get headhunted in some way. So I think the way in which you can go, of course some people can go through post-production if you want to kind of focus on being an editor or an edit assistant, and if you want to become a producer, it's great to work with a kind of production house. But the routes you take, I think before it would be considered about 3 routes, now there's like tons of routes that you can take. I think I chose to work freelance because I really love working on different types of projects. I came from a fine art background myself, so when I graduated, I came out with this thirst to know about production and filmmaking, because I was like, I know I want to be a director, but I have no clue about how this works. And so I started running on a lot of film sets, and then from there, a lot of people saw I was quite good as a producer, as a manager, and I started managing projects. So I took a bit of a step away from creativity for a while, but in doing that, it really helped me because it helped me manage myself and know how the process worked. So I've come back into directing and editing, and I think what I like about it is the freedom to be able to work on several different projects at the same time. You have to really manage yourself, which is tricky sometimes, but it's nice to be able to work with different teams and just build your portfolio to grow in different ways. It's really tough. Working freelance, you've really got to manage yourself. Like I said, I might be working on 3-4 projects at the same time, and sometimes I have to think 10 steps ahead. So I might work on a project for 3 months, but I've got to think, okay, what am I going to do after that? So it can be tricky, but I think one of the biggest things you need to deal with when you do freelance is to get clients who will call you back regularly. So it's building those networks who will kind of recommend you. So I've done a lot of editing work for artists as well as on a corporate level. And in doing that, I find if I've done a job, someone will naturally go, oh, if you need an editor, call Riffat, or this and that. So it's really important to promote yourself really well as a freelancer. It depends really. I think for me, the way I work is I really get drawn about the kind of idea and atmosphere that I'm trying to create in my film, and then the mindsets of the characters. For the film I did, Clench, recently, I actually put an ad out on places like Star Now, Casting Call Pro, a lot of kind of actors networks, but I also actually put an open call on kind of drama schools as well as boxing clubs, because what it was is that I didn't want to just get actors to be boxers, I wanted real boxers. So what was lovely about my film is my actress was from London, and she had found out about my advertisement through Twitter, because I had put it through my Twitter and put it through some other kind of networks, and it got fed through. And when I met her, she was perfect. I was like, oh my god, she's the main actress. So when I went back to Manchester and did the casting, I just found no one was as good as her. But it was still a really nice experience, because when you do these kind of casting sessions, you might find actors who are suitable for a short film you're doing, but you also might find actors who could work in another project you have. I think it's a lot more open. There are definitely a lot more female filmmakers than there were about 10, 15 years ago, but it's still a very small percentage within the film market.